Hello, welcome to the channel. Something a little different today than the usual tractor content. I'm actually walking over to the garden right now. I read somewhere that it's actually a good idea to prep any new garden beds that you're going to do in the fall for the following spring. It gives the soil some time to set up and the microbes and everything to settle in. I'm not a scientist, so I don't really know everything behind that, but I'm going to listen to what I read and just try it. Plus, I have more time now to do it than in the spring. So we're going to be putting 2, maybe 3, but definitely 2 new raised garden beds in. I'm going to be using recycled lumber from the deck that we tore off the house back this past spring, just because why not use it? Why get new wood when I already have that? This is what we'll be using right here. The majority of this is actually the decking from the deck that we're going to use, probably stacked too high so the beds are a little bit higher than just using one all the way around. The other framing boards that were on the deck, I'm actually going to reuse those to frame out the new stairs that I still haven't built yet, but I'm trying to reuse as much as I possibly can that I already have here. I don't have actual pallet forks, so I just made these real quick. These are just 4 feet each, so I cut a 2x4 in half, and then these 2 pieces that are wedged in here are 17 inches, and then I literally just put them in and wedged them up. They're not going to hold a hell of a lot of weight, but I mean, for something like this, they actually work really well. So I went through all the boards. There are definitely some usable ones in there. There's some that are kind of trash, but if I can at least get the 4-foot sections for the end of the garden beds out of it, that's a plus. So they're going to be 8x4 roughly. I may only have enough to do one bed since I want to double stack the boards to get a little bit more height out of it. But we're going to see kind of how it goes. We may only end up with one. This is a good example here. So we've got some splits there, here. I'm not sure I'm even going to be able to get a 4-foot piece out of this well enough. Well, let's see. Just barely. I mean, that could be okay for the end. We'll try it. One thing I am doing is I'm measuring up 8 feet, but I'm actually adding 2 inches to it so that down at this end, I can come in about 2 inches here. And some of these are pretty split on the end. So the thought is there'll be a little bit more meat here than what you see splitting, and I'll actually be able to get the screws in better. Well, I've got enough for one bed, double stacking them. Almost 2, but I need 3 more of the end pieces, and what I have left over here is all split, and I'm just not going to get the length out of them that I need. What I do have are some scrap 2x4s. What I'm going to use those for is making corner bracing in all 4 corners and maybe one in the middle on each side too. Just that way there I have something to screw each one of the boards into to make the rectangle. And I don't have a table saw, so I'm going to be ripping them down on this. See how that goes. Well, there you have it, your basic 4x8 raised garden bed made out of scrap pieces of wood from old deck. I went ahead and threw a cross bracing in the middle just to keep it an even 4 feet all the way down, because these are old reclaimed boards. They are bowing and warping every which direction, so that will hopefully help. Now I know what you're thinking, why didn't you just build it in place? You're obviously not going to keep the garden bed right where it is. My extension cord doesn't reach all the way over there, so I built it here. We'll use these makeshift pallet forks to bring it over in place. I do need to take this end of the fence out because this one's going to go right over here, and then the second one will eventually go right here, and we'll extend the fence out and around. So real quick, I'm just going to take this down and get everything kind of mapped out. Well, we lost one. I guess don't do this if you're lifting anything too valuable or heavy, unless you're screwing them together and making sure they're secured in place. But regardless, it worked for what I'm trying to do. Well, it's certainly nothing fancy, but it does give some old, otherwise useless wood another purpose. And basically it's just holding dirt, so I know over time this is going to break down. These are old PT boards. I put the side that wasn't painted or facing up towards the weather when it was a deck on the outside. That way that everything that's going to be touching that moisture from the dirt all the time is on the inside. I may even line it with a little bit of plastic. Something I've seen a lot of other people do when they're putting a new garden bed in is actually line the bottom of it with leaves and sticks and anything that's going to break down over time before you put your soil on it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to line it with all the stuff that's going to break down. I'll grab a bucket of soil, bring it in here, throw it in, kind of let it do its thing. I'm going to cover it for the winter. And in the spring, I'll do more garden videos, kind of how we prep it, what we're going to grow and all that stuff. But for now, I think that's a wrap on this video. I have more that I need to go and do. I want to build those other beds, but I don't have enough scrap wood right now, so I've got to get resourceful and look around at what I have. But I will show you the progress on it. Thank you for watching. For those of you who subscribed, thank you so much. Consider doing so if you haven't, and I will see you in the next one.